Okay, so now we're going to look at a practice listening test, and we're first going to start with section 1 of the listening. So this is kind of standard for your IELTS. You see questions 1 to 10. It's filling out information. You're listening to a phone conversation between two people, and you should be filling in the missing information. So it looks pretty straightforward when you first scan the questions. You know, what's his name, what's his address, what kind of discount is he getting and what items is he ordering. Okay, so it's very important for part 1 that these are kind of easy points you can pick up. Make sure you're good on your numbers, times, dates, things like that. Spelling, okay, can be really important. All right, so let's listen and have a go and see what happens.
Section 1. You will hear a man phoning about an order for clothes. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 4.
Okay, so we're going to start with the IELTS listening section 1. So this is a pretty standard section 1 answer. We're going to be listening to a phone conversation, someone who's made the wrong order. Hopefully you've already had a go at doing this by yourself. So now we'll go through the answers and talk a little bit about how you can improve your section 1 listening score. With section 1 often has some quite easy points for you to pick up that are going to be quite important for boosting your overall score. Things you can be sure to always practice, things like numbers, spellings, dates, amounts of money. I know especially in Korean, the way you count money is different. So it's very important to make sure that you're confident on your 100,000, million. You know, if someone says it's going to cost me $10,058, you're able to write 10,058. Those are important skills to practice because that's going to help you pick up these points in section 1. Okay, so let's go through the answers and check where it is you can be listening to get answers from. So the first thing, of course, is the name. Okay, so he actually spells it out for you in his answer. And so he actually spells it out for you in his answer, and he says Petrovsky. That's P-E-T R-O-V-S-K-I. Okay, so he spells it out for you in the listening. Okay, so that's easy to sort of hear and pick up. And then it's the same for his address, where it's 29 Aylesbury Street. Okay, so he says that quite clearly in his answers. Those are quite quick ones to pick up on. The slightly more tricky part of it is the second part of his address. Okay, so let's just listen to the first part of the conversation and see if you picked out correctly the information that's supposed to go in part 3.
Hello, customer services. How can I help you?
Hello, is that Wacky Clothing?
Yes, speaking. How can I help?
Well, I'm not sure if I've come through to the right department. I'm phoning about some clothes that I ordered.
Yes. Is there something wrong with them?
No, well, I don't know. I ordered them 3 weeks ago, but I haven't received anything yet.
I see. Do you have an order number?
Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yes, it's order number 03259. No, sorry, that's 02359.
02359. Great. Let me have a look. Bear with me a second.
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry. I can't seem to find anything with that order number. Can I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Robert Petrovsky.
Could you spell your surname, please?
Yes, Petrovsky. That's P-E-T-R-O-V-S-K-I.
Petrovsky. Thank you. And your address?
29 Aylesbury Street, Bromley.
And the postcode?
Look, I gave all this information when I placed the order.
Yes, sir, I'm terribly sorry, but your order seems to have got lost from the system. We did have a problem with our computer a few weeks ago. What I can do is give you a 25% discount voucher for your next order if it's between £50 and £100. Would you still like me to go ahead?
Oh, yes. Okay, then. So the postcode is BR3 4XW. So I'll definitely get a 25% discount next time?
Okay, so as you were listening to that, I hope you picked up where he gives his address and then the woman asks him and the postcode. So this is asking here for your postcode information, okay? So it's slightly different in every country. I think in Korea, it tends to be all numbers. In the UK, it's always, 6 or 7 letters, and it's a mixture of alphabet and numbers. So the woman asks for the postcode, and then he's like, I don't want to, I already gave you this information. And so then she has to respond. Okay, so they try to confuse you by delaying him giving her the information, but then he eventually gives it, and you should have written down BR3 4XW. Okay, so they did that classic IELTS thing where they try and distract you by confusing what's happening, but you should have been listening out for the postcode information. Okay. So in the address, obviously that always goes at the end. So they've not specified exactly what information you should be putting there, but that's something you should be listening out for. And then the same time they discuss giving him the 25% discount, okay? So again, this is easy points to pick up. You should be practicing when you're reviewing your IELTS, your spelling, your numbers, and those are good points for you to pick up. Okay, so then let's go down to, so when we look at questions 5 to 10, again, a similar thing. This is quite a sort of a nice section to have. If you actually got this in the real IELTS test, I think you'd be pretty lucky to get this, because it's listening for colors, clothing, numbers. So I think it's quite easy. So the first one you should listen for was the jacket. Okay, so he's asking for a green jacket. He gives the item number, the jeans. The item number was 56640W. Okay, so one other trick to listen for out in the IELTS is when you have two numbers together, sometimes they say 66, so they could say 56640W. So listening out for tricks like that. So sometimes when people give a phone number, they might say, my phone number is 010-332249. So it's 3322. So that's the kind of trick you want to be listening out for and make sure you're practicing. And the size, it was 34 and short. Okay. The other thing to make sure you're practicing, spelling counts in the IELTS. If you spell it wrong, they won't mark it. So make sure you're confident on your basic spellings. He asks for an evening slot. So you should have put evening here. And then again, make sure you're good on your dates and your numbers. And he asks for a delivery date on Thursday, 7th of October. Okay, Thursday, 7th of October. Okay, so that should all be your section 1. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy, not a lot of problems there. They do try to catch you out with his postcode, but hopefully you should be able to get through that without too many issues.